You're right guys, I'm Kai and this is a tutorial on the turn vault. So for the first step, I really recommend you've already learned how to do a step speed and a side vault. If you haven't already learned how to do those, you can check out the link in the description down below to our previous tutorials where we show you how to do those movements. So for the first step, we're going to use that step speed technique, but instead of having both hands forwards, you're going to turn one of the hands around so it's backwards in that reverse grip. This is the hand you're going to pivot around, so if you're using your left hand, you're going to want to turn anti-clockwise. So what you're going to do is you're going to pull up and jump into that step speed vault position, so you're going to get your foot on the rail, pushing the other foot through, and this time instead of trying to keep your chest forward, you're going to naturally feel like your chest is going to want to turn round to the left side. This is because that backwards hand is going to stay on and it's going to want to turn you round, so you're going to end up facing the direction the hand is facing. At the same time, almost straight away, as soon as your foot gets up on the rail, you're going to lift off your other hand, giving yourself space to pass through and get over the rail. As you step off the rail, feel the weight go onto your other arm. This is going to help to support your weight and need to start to get a feeling of what that feels like for later on in the progressions. So you're going to feel the weight come down on that arm and rotate round, turning your head, looking at the whole time at the railing where you're going to put your hands, put your next hand on the rail beside it to grab the rail and drop down into a cat position. So the undergrip hand stays on the rail the whole time, but as you're doing the vault, also pay attention to where your chest position is. You want to kind of keep your weight above the rail as much as possible rather than behind or past the rail, and that's going to help you control the movement more. So you're not vaulting past the rail, you're vaulting up onto the rail, rotating around and then coming down on the other side. A really important thing to consider is to not have both hands forwards. You want to make sure you do this with one hand backwards, and it's really useful if you can do it on both sides as well. So make sure you do it on your right and your left side to make it a lot easier for you in the future when you want to be able to turn both ways. So for the second step, you're going to start in the same way we did in the first step, but instead of jumping up and putting your foot on here, you're going to use the same technique as the side vault. So you're going to vault up and you're not going to put your feet on the rail at all. You're going to vault up and you're going to side vault, and instinctively, because you're keeping that underarm hand in place the whole time, it's going to twist your body. As you're doing it, again, you want to think about keeping your weight above the rail, not too much past it, because it's going to make you have to rotate much faster. But if you keep it above the rail, it's going to give you more time to pirouette, more time to rotate, and it's going to make it easier to do the movement, and then you're going to have more time to think about the placement of your feet on the other side of the wall. So the same as in the first step, you want to make sure you get the other hand off nice and quick. You kind of just use it for assistance in that initial generating of force to get over the rail, but then you take it off and most of the weight stays above the other arm that's staying on the rail that you're pivoting on. If you leave the hand on the rail, there's not going to be any space for your body to pass over, and it's going to make it a lot more difficult and you might shin yourself. Make it a lot easier, I tend to stare at the rail the whole time and trust my body to kind of know where it's going and feel the locking position, but I want to make sure that no matter what happens, I grab the rail. So when you're doing this movement at height, if you don't grab the rail, that's when you're going to drop, and that's going to really suck. So for the final step, we're just going to progress on from that second step, and all you're going to do is think about the placement of your feet after you've grabbed your hand. So you've got to get used to keeping your weight up on the arm so you have more time to control and place your feet, and you're going to work on placing your feet where you want them to be. In this situation, I have a little wall that I'm aiming to land my feet on, but often you have a flat face of wall, you're going to land in cat, or perhaps you're going to be landing on a railing. This technique again, I'm focusing mainly on my hand positioning, making sure that I get that perfect before I then look down to where I'm placing my feet. That's to ensure that I'm keeping myself as safe as possible, making sure the most important bit, which is the hand placement, is being looked after first, and then I'm looking down to my feet to place them. So the main problem beginners seem to have when they start to learn this is they keep both hands on the rail because they're afraid to let go of the one hand, and that ends up with them getting tangled up and they end up falling onto the floor. Another thing to consider is when you're doing the final step, make sure you're jumping off both feet and you're keeping both knees together, and it's just going to make it a lot easier. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you subscribe to Storm for more content and click that little bell button to get a notification every time we upload a new video. Also let us know in the comment section down below what tutorial you want to see in next week's episode, and check out the link in the description down below to our shop where you can buy Storm for your own clothing watching and support us to make more videos like this. I'll see you next time. Cheers.